Renami-kun asks, are there plans to expand the mining laser / let us do crazier things with the terrain?
Unfortunately, caves aren't technically possible again because of the height map. Make the world, we fill them with wonderful things, and everyone wants to dig it up and destroy everything. Yeah, I think Tom's obsessed with making big holes.
There's only plans to do expand. Well, I don't think it's going to be the mining laser that has that functionality. It will be a separate block. You may have seen some of the work in progress tools that we have in game. So it will be a version of those bits and pieces in for the 0.5 release, I think, that one.
Are there plans for more / different kinds of wheels soon? This was asked by Little Ghost.
We are currently working on some new wheels. With the recent changes to the way the limitations on tech building work, building bigger techs. When you build bigger techs, because of the clearance on the wheels we currently have, it can be quite difficult to get around the terrain. So we want to do some bigger wheels that have more clearance so you can get bigger techs around over the terrain. And also because we like making wheels. Wheels are fun.
Speed and mobility within the desert will be a factor. That's the expectation for the enemies in the desert, that they'll be fast moving and harder to hit. So those are the wheels that you'll be able to gain access to. But before the desert update comes, adding larger wheels which will have more carry strength. We've increased the reactor limits, reactor capacity by quite a lot. So that's what we're adding, larger wheels.
Are there any plans to expand the build limit further? Not that you haven't already been incredibly generous with it.
We do have plans to expand build limits in other ways. We most recently added the fusion cores, which allow you to add blocks to your tech and blocks to your base, which support larger tech builds. Whilst adding them, we have also talked about other ways to expand tech building limits, probably through boss items. So specific items that you'll gain by defeating bosses or doing other equally challenging tasks within the world. But it's still fairly early on that. We'll see where we get to.
Will the Fog of War make a return from the demo?
Yeah, we decided to remove the Fog of War just because we didn't get the support features around making that interesting gameplay, and we felt that it was easier to allow people to use the maps. But we do have a whole feature planned around exploring the planet, revealing the planet, sharing that information between players. Mapping the planet will be an active process that you're going to be taking part and revealing resources, bases, things like that that show up on your map, so you'll have them as a reference point. So yeah, we have a whole feature planned around that.
Are we going to get more backstory? Is the idea that there is a driver in the tech, or is it being piloted?
There is definitely a person in the cab. We decided that a few years ago. I think some people might have forgotten we did that. But yeah, there's, they have windscreens. From my point of view, the ladder we put in the game, the ladder's kind of like a human scale ladder, which I think helps with some of the scale issues in the game. But yeah, I'd love to get some more context into the world, get some world building in, I think it's not just me, I think a whole bunch of people would like to add some backstory, add a bit more, character to the game, character to the worlds, the various planets you're going to be on, the enemies, things like that. I think it's, it's one of the things I enjoy about computer games.
We are working with an internal logic around that, but we're still looking at the best ways to sort of communicate that and bleed it in. But there's bits of narrative context in a lot of the blocks and the way things work.
Zugbug33 asks, I would like to ask about how the creative mode in this game will differ or be the same from the one in TERRATECH.
We don't know.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts on the deep lore of the floating white cube, colloquially known as Jeff, that Supermint found in the Discord?
No, they were never supposed to see Jeff.
What is Jeff, Jason? Do you know what Jeff is?
I don't know. If someone can tell me where it is, I can find out.
It looked to me like it was one of our teleport spawns.
They shouldn't render. I mean, I'm not saying it's not that, but that seems unlikely.
When you do see them, they're not squares.
So yeah. Jeff confirmed.
That's Jeff.
Yeah.
It's quite a spooky picture, actually.
It's like Arrival, where they're just
it's like
there.
those pictures the US government dropped a few years ago during lockdown.
Oh yeah, when they were like, "Oh, by the way, UFOs are real." Anyway,
No,
and we were all like,
now
"Wait."
that we're looking at it up close, I think it's just a lens flare on the camera. Nothing to see here. Just nothing to see here. Just an artifact of photography.